All right, thank you. Hello, welcome everybody to the AM call. I'm so excited to be here with you. And I need a favor, James. Can we switch it back to gallery real quick so everybody can see each other? Awesome. Okay. I know a lot of you have your cameras off, and that will be just fine. I need your camera on for literally like 1 minute. 1 minute. Please turn your cameras on. Okay. We've got an exercise to do, and you're showing up here to grow this morning, right? Okay. We're going to do an exercise. I want you, we are gonna do some. How many of you are coachable, leadable, teachable? Raise your hand. Show me some interaction. All right, awesome. Okay, good morning. So on the count of three, I'm going to count to three. And on the count of three, I want you to get your face really close up into the camera. And you are going to make the most grotesque face you can possibly do. Like I'm looking at you, you're looking at each other. And while you're doing it, I need you to scream like something is terrifying you. Like you said you were coachable. Did we say we were coachable? You're never going to get on an AM call again. I know, but that's okay. That's okay. I don't know half of you. I don't know most of you, but on the count of three, I need you to scream in terror and make the most grotesque face. Okay. Now don't do it till I count to three. Unmute yourself. Don't say a word yet. Unmute. Coachable, leadable, teachable. They can't unmute, can they? Okay. That's okay. Okay. One.
Idea but defended.
Two.
You stepped up.
Okay, I'm just kidding. You can mute them back, James. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. Okay. Now I want to ask you something.
Now you're muted.
I see Corey. Corey's face went like this. Like I saw a sigh of relief. I want you to think about your body right now. How many of you feel so, Bertha is still covering up her mouth. Like the anxiety is releasing from her body. I see it. Norma is too. Some of you are just, of course, dying laughing. You're so relieved right now. How many of you feel that relief in your body? Raise your hand. Yeah. Okay. So this is where I gotta, give me a minute here. I'm gonna go in to this. All right. Can you see my screen, James? Okay, awesome. All right. So kind of, what did you feel? I know some of you felt fear. I know some of you probably asked, will I be alone? Some of you probably thought, who's in the next room? Am I in public right now? Because we care so much, right? We care. And this exercise right here, it demonstrated what's called a punctuated cognitive response. And it's like, have any of you ever seen like a lazy river? There's a lazy river. I love the lazy river. You go to a water park. I feel like it's the thing for the parents. We get to kind of relax, float down the river. Sometimes there's those annoying kids, and maybe you've done it before where you're trying to swim against the currents and you're splashing people. But what keeps that lazy river going down the streams are jets. They're jets under the water that you can't see. And we all have those jets in our life. They're called somatic markers. They are what keep us going in predicted behavior. And what you just experienced was a cognitive response where you come up against that jet because your somatic markers keep you safe. They keep you from jumping off a cliff. They keep you from looking stupid like you were just probably thinking you were about to do. They protect us. But they're also something in our life that can prevent us from going all in on something, because we have these somatic markers that also carry past trauma, past pain, past experiences. And your brain is trying to keep you safe, keep you comfortable, and keep you from going up against things that will make you uncomfortable. But most of the time in our lives, it is the discomfort and going up against things that are uncomfortable where we achieve our greatest breakthroughs. And so this is this training today, I just want you to be able to identify areas in your business where you're playing it safe because of your programming. And three things are very true about humans. We have fear-driven needs. We want to look good, we want to feel good, and we want to be right. My husband has a severe need for wanting to be right. Maybe I should say that on the call today. I have needs. I have needs to want to look good, probably above all. I'm a performer. I'm performance-based, and I'll get a little bit into my backstory. But I want you to kind of look at this in the need to look good in your business. The fear driver is fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of looking foolish or stupid, right? The core belief is if I don't look successful, people won't respect me. And so I want you to ask yourself today, what does that look like for you? You know, I'm gonna go through this exercise, but I want you to make sure you're taking a pen and paper and writing this down, because this is something that you need to reflect on and do and go through yourself. And once I get through a couple of these, I'm gonna explain to you why going through this is so important and why it will change your business. Okay. But the need to look good, what does that look like for you right now? Are you trying to polish your brand excessively? I know so many times I create a post or I create content and I'm like, oh, I'll look stupid. Or some of you have still not started on your social media because you are terrified of what people who actually know you, who aren't paying your bills, will think about you. Some of you are not asking people about their health. You're not inviting them to the summer sizzle detox program we have coming up because you're scared of how they'll think about you because of the need to look good. It might keep you from saying yes to opportunities. It might, hiding mistakes. You might be leading a leader from ego. You might not be sharing your vulnerabilities or your mistakes or your failures with your team, which is the strongest way human beings connect and can move each other to greatness, is through humility and servant leadership. And the need to look good can drive leaders to lead from ego and perfection, which is unattainable, and it shuts others down. Are you only sharing on your social media, your highlight reel? That's not relatable. Maybe it's that before picture that you have, but you're terrified to put it out there because of the need to look good. But that before picture is what'll move 20 other women who want what you have. It's avoiding asking for help or mentorship, or just going to a leader and saying, I'm stuck here. Help me work through this. I know I look like I had it all on my own, but I would love your help, love your perspective. The need to look good keeps you isolated. And the result of it can be burnout, shallow connections, limited innovation, missed opportunities, and relatability. We have to be willing to look foolish. Okay, then you have the need to feel good, right? The need to feel good. This is fear of discomfort, fear of conflict and emotional pain, the fear of the journey to actually get there. The core belief is if it doesn't feel good, I must be doing something wrong. I love the term and the concept of going V1 in your business. How many of you have held yourself back a little bit because you're scared of what success will feel like? Because if you've been there before, you know there is a cost to pay. There is a price to pay for success. There is a weight of success. There are sacrifices to make for success. And you could be stressing about the exhaustion. What will it mean if I start building a team? What will it mean if I have customers all asking me questions at all? Like, those are your boundaries. But these thoughts are often irrational of what it'll feel like when you get there. But if you really do a deep dive and you look under the water and you look at the jets, they're there. Maybe you've been in depression before. Maybe you've had anxiety before. Maybe you think if I go all in on this, things are going to come back up for me. Maybe you're like me. In my first business that I was in, I was obsessed. I went all in. V1. V1, by the way, is when you're in an airplane and the pilot basically puts the throttle up and there's a point of no return. You can't undo it. It would be more dangerous to pull back than it would to go forward. That's V1. And I can tell you that in my first network, one of my first network marketing companies in the first 3 years, I was so obsessive and it took me over and I lost so much. I would almost say I lost my identity. I lost my family. I lost my spirituality. I lost so much. And I sat in the trenches. I sat in the gutter. I sat in brokenness for about 2 years before I decided I would go back in and make a comeback. But it had to be as a new woman. It had to be with new boundaries. It had to be out of a new energy, which I'll talk to you a little bit about in The Gap versus the Gain. If you haven't read that book, I highly recommend it. It's called The Gap versus the Gain. But it's not that I am great at this industry. I have some God-given gifts that can be used on this platform. But looking at my past and how I misstewarded that before could have kept me from where I am now. And so a lot of times, the need to feel good, we're comparing it to something that might not really happen. Or you've grown, you've learned, you've showed up differently. And you can sometimes run that same path at a different pace in a different way with different training. Okay. So I don't know what it looks like for you, but a need to feel good can often cause us to procrastinate on tough decisions. It can be avoiding follow-ups because you don't want to be told no. You don't want your energy to go down. One of the hardest parts of what we do is just putting ourselves out there because we don't want to get depressed. We don't want to feel rejection because maybe we haven't done enough personal development to realize that their no has nothing to do with me and who I am. It's my job to go get that no. And I won't let it phase how I feel today. That's just development. It's numbing with distraction. It's scrolling. It's over planning and busy work instead of income generating activity. You're always getting ready to get ready because the very thing that you're afraid will make you tired or, take over your life is going to be too much. But I will tell you, I think in our industry and what we do, the very terminology of like depression is thinking about what we're not doing. It's like shame based. It's like we know we need to have conversations. We know we need to follow up. We know we need to plan that scan party. We know we need to have that meeting where we gather our friends and talk about detoxing. We have these things that we know we need to do, and we're procrastinating because of some unrealistic concept in how it's going to make us feel. But that right there, the avoidance, that's what makes you feel the worst. Getting out of your comfort zone is actually exhilarating. And when you're done with it, you feel proud. The result is stagnation, under earning, missed opportunities, lack of leadership, and growth. I like this. It's not that the journey is hard, but hardship is the journey. Most of our energy goes into stopping the pain when in reality, we should be trying to make the pain count. Okay. And the final one is the need to be right. Fear driver, fear of being wrong, fear of vulnerability, fear of losing control and authority. The core belief is if I'm wrong, I lose control, credibility, or respect. And I don't know what it looks like for you. This is for you to go through. But it could look like rejecting new strategies because what I've done has always worked. Dismissing feedback from your coach or your team. Always having to over-explain or justify decisions instead of listening. Turning every disagreement into a debate. Struggling to admit when a launch or a new planner or an offer flopped and learning from that failure. I can tell you right now, I have in my career, I've been a heavy recruiter, and I would carry a lot of shame with me on the partners that didn't launch. And sometimes it slowed down my recruiting because I was scared to bring someone in with a hope and dream to watch them not achieve what I had achieved. But I ended up, getting a game plan together. Systems, by the way, Vital Health is coming up with the greatest systems I've ever seen. I keep hearing from James about this one team concept and how we're all supported and we're all going to have these incredible systems. You know what that does? It takes pressure off of each of us to try and create a new pathway every time to launch someone. I'm so excited. I'm so excited about what this company is doing and what they are offering because my responsibility will be to plug people into the systems, speak encouragement, vision, belief over them, and then free myself from the responsibility that I have to do their job every day. It will allow people who want it to rise, and you can focus on the drivers in your business. The result of this is from the need to be right is team tension, slow adaptation, damaged relationships, plateaued success. So I'm going to stop my screen share here. So with that, I want to just tell you, a little bit of a story. It's kind of a vulnerable story I'm going to share with you that happened this week. So I have a daughter who's 12 years old, and she is an incredible little basketball player. And I grew up playing basketball in the great state of Indiana. Well, if you've ever heard of that state, Hoosier basketball, Bobby Knight, they breed us like cattle there. From the time I was in first grade, all the way through till my family moved me to Kansas City. So that would have been up until my junior year in high school. It was all year round basketball. And if you played another sport come middle school, early high school, this was 6A high school, you probably wouldn't make the team because there were probably 500 girls trying out. And I remember like even my dad instilling in me, like, it's time to choose your lane. It's time to choose your lane. And he instilled in me, I could go be good at a lot of things, or I could go all in and be great at one thing. And so that's what I did. I poured my entire childhood and life into basketball. And if you met me then, I would say I'm going to get a Division I full ride scholarship. From the time I was probably in 4th grade, that's what I said. That's what I said. That's what I said. And so come my junior year in high school, my dad got an offer to come and take over his dad's church in Kansas City. And I got uprooted and had to move. And I mean, by the time I was in 8th grade in Indiana, they knew who their starters were. The high school coaches were training for state championships with their women. And so I had that starting over was devastating. But I came in, I broke out. I will never forget the first tournament I played in high school. I scored 28 points, 31, 33. That weekend, I was in the newspapers everywhere. And that year, that junior year, you're starting to now pull attention with college scouts, knowing your name, starting to write you. It's like, okay, here we go. I'm not in Indiana anymore. I have to get out there. I have to be seen. I have to start really competing, get that D1, D1, D1. 4th game, blew out my ACL. I spent the next 8 months in rehab, recovering, coming back, came back, blew out the other ACL. And just like that, the dream was done. I went on to play basketball at Manhattan Christian College with my sister, who is 2 years older than me. And we had the most fun I have ever had playing basketball. We went to nationals. We had the most incredible experiences. And for the first time in my life, it wasn't a job. It wasn't pressure. If I mentioned the gap and the gain earlier, I was playing in the gap. And that's where you're passionate about it. You're intrinsically motivated, and you're not playing in this striving state of reaching and getting. It was such a blessing. Well, my daughter is on that same path right now, and she's actually way more talented than I was. And I'm making sure she's driving it. She's driving it. If she wants to be on this team that's 45 minutes away because it's uncomfortable and the players are better, I'm going to take her there. We're doing extra training outside of it. She's getting up every morning early and she's going out working on her own. I had a conversation with her father this week, and he said, I just think she's going too hard. I think she's going too hard. And he said, I don't want her to be another statistic like you who dreams of something her whole life and blows out an ACL and is crushed. And I did not react because we all do personal development here, right? If you've been in network marketing, you have like, I personally have 20 years of hard personal development. I don't react. I prayed, and I came back and I said, you know what? Those ACL blowouts were some of the greatest things that happened in my life. I said, because we also had to we got a divorce 5 years ago. I said, they helped me climb out of one of the darkest times of my life and come back as a woman and a mother. They helped me in my network marketing business achieve a top tier that most people don't, because I come back, because I grind, because I have grit, because it's not over. And no matter what happens outside my control, I've learned that I can intrinsically control the markers, the somatic markers in my brain. Give me the challenge. Take me out of the game. That's nothing. I've been here before. I've done this before. And so I said, if our daughter goes all in on something, by the way, she would rather be, and we've talked about this, she would rather be awesome at one thing than good at a lot. Because that's the sacrifice. You have to make a sacrifice. If you're here in this company and you want success, you're going to have to make sacrifices. You're going to have to go all in. But if that's what she wants to do, and if she doesn't end up getting that Division I scholarship, every bit of sweat, blood, tears, discipline, integrity, character, teamwork building, sacrifice, doing the hard things, going the extra mile, being what other people's won't, it will translate in everything that she does in her life. And so I want to make sure, because I could have taken on that thought belief. I want my daughter to play it safe. I don't want her to get hurt. I don't want her to be disappointed. I don't want her to go all in. I could take that on, but that's not how I want the wiring in my brain, and that's not how I want her to perform in life. And so you can see two different thought processes there. And I'm telling you, go read the book, Gap Out of the Game. One is working out of the gap. It's trying to not get uncomfortable. It's trying to keep, it's striving. It's striving for something we can't control. Where the gap, right now she's functioning in the gap. She's functioning out of passion and power. And it feels good and it's fun for her. And we'll let her go as far as that goes. But I want to ask you today, in your business, do you have an experience in your childhood or in your past business that is keeping you held from your success now because you haven't flipped the script? Because you haven't looked at it and said, this worked for me, not against me. There is a silver lining in everything, and everything is happening for us, not against us. And so I want you to take a little bit of that exercise, go through kind of what I showed you today, and see if there are places that you can identify. I am working out of a need to look good because this happened to me. And so I'm carrying this experience and I'm projecting it onto my future. Where what if you just went all in? What if you just looked foolish? What if you were willing to just pay the cost, make the sacrifice? And what if it's different from what you thought it would be, right? I know this company is brand new. Some of you, it's your first time in network marketing. And some of you are probably coming from, well, if we're here, we might be coming from some trauma and some hardships and some obstacles. And, I want to tell you, I'll end with this. I was with a company for 10 years and I had a lot of success there, built it from the launch. And for 3 years, I hung on through a lot of comp plan changes and cuts. And I hung on because I'm a very, very, very loyal person. And I have my partner on here going. And, I want to say sometimes hanging on to a sinking ship just means you're going to sink. And that's comfortable. That's comfortable. That's right. You got to know when to fold them. And so, I decided to partake in another company launching. And I couldn't use my social media because in that company, they owned your brand. I couldn't take a network I had built for 10 years, or anyone I knew, because I wanted to honor that. And so I was sitting with a new opportunity in front of me and saying, I don't know if I can do this. Maybe I got lucky maybe I got lucky for the last 8 years. Maybe that was a one-hit wonder. I don't know if I can start over. I don't know if I have the energy to do this. I don't know if I have the grit to do this. I'm feeling burned out right now. My nervous system is shot. I am exhausted. I can't even comprehend a start over right now. And in the chats, tell me if maybe you're there, but you know this is what you do. You know you can do this. You know you got the passions and gifts to do this. But it's all these somatic markers that are trying to keep you safe and keep you from having another traumatic experience, maybe with a company that folds, maybe with a company that does you dirty. But if you keep playing that, if you keep playing that story and the past and where you're coming from, you might miss something incredible. And I decided I would just go all in, and I would go back to the most uncomfortable thing in the world, never using my social media, getting on the phone with people, belly to belly, every day, just talking, just seeing, having real life conversations. Because guess what? Attraction marketing is really easy. You make a post and pray, and you hope they come to you. But I am so thankful for that experience. I built up to one of the top ranks in no time with no social media and no previous network. But I had to get gritty. I had to get gritty and I had to get uncomfortable. But you know what? I've done that before and I can do it again. And I am so thankful right now to be here with Vital Health. And maybe you are too, where you actually have everything it takes to do it. And you can do it again. And if you've never done it again, if you've never done it in network marketing before, maybe you're a single mom who's doing it every day. You know, maybe you were bullied as a child and you've worked through that and you've come out on the other side. Maybe you've lost 60 pounds. Do you know to do that, what that takes mentally? Like, you've had wins. Pull on those wins. Stop pulling on the failures. Start pulling on the trauma. Stop pulling on what didn't go right. It all happened for you to bring you where you are now, with the right opportunity, with the right product, with the right system, with the right team, in the right place, at the right time. You got this. Thank you so much for being on this call today and for your attention. Make sure you tune in tomorrow with James's training on boards. I am so excited for this because once again, we're the right